What is up, Who Dat Nation? Welcome inside another edition of the Straight Up Saints podcast. I'm your host, Chris Rosevoglu, and as always, the Straight Up Saints podcast is brought to you by Scott McNair, injury lawyers of injury any kind of accident, car, truck, 18-wheeler, or hurt offshore. Scott McNair handles it all. Give him a call at 504-500-1111 for a free consultation. They'll always fight for the win. The Saints, unfortunately, ended their regular season with a loss to the Atlanta Falcons. Gave it all they had, despite all the injuries, despite a skeleton crew on offense, some good, some not so good from the offense and Tyler Shough. We'll get into it as we always do after every game. And we'll just kind of jump right into this one. What I will say before I get to the closing thoughts that I have by the end of this pod is just to talk about real quick the optimism that this Saints fan base is feeling, and rightfully so. I know a lot of us from the Who Dat Nation were kind of like, I don't want to say burnt out is the word, but about week 10, week 11, you feel it, right? You kind of feel deflated, and you don't really know if this team's going to get back on the right track. And we'll see if they end up doing so, where next season is that next step and they go from 6 wins to being a playoff team. But it feels good that there actually is some hope. And we weren't able to say that 2.5 months ago, and now we can. So it's pretty awesome. So let's jump into it. Big reason why we have hope. Number 6, Tyler Shough, what he's going to do. So we're going to start this off actually with his last throw of the season. And I think it is fitting, very fitting, that the last throw of the season for Tyler Shough, just a flat out dime. And it's honestly, not a flat out dime. Well, it is a dime, I would say. It's just Ronnie Bell not getting his footing. And I think this game, there's going to be about 10 to 11 throws we discuss where I think better talent around him, the results are even better. And if we look at the stat line, by the way, final stat line from week 18, he went 23 of 35, 259, 2 total touchdowns and a pick. Pretty good. I think when you take into context what the Falcons were able to do to the Rams the week before, Matt Stafford, 269, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. Falcons defense can play. But yeah, I thought we were going to start with the last play of the game. We're actually going to start with this one. I actually think it's going to be good because we're going to go back to the last play and we're going to show what's different. But let's watch this one here. Pressure's kind of barreling on the left side. Shough's throwing this where he thinks his receiver should be. Now, Ronnie Bell doesn't get there. Now, I don't want to be pointing fingers, but I think in this particular case, I'm going to have to. Ronnie Bell's route running was an absolute disaster on Sunday at times, whether it was his release, just not getting down the field quick enough, stumbling on his own 2 feet. If we go back to watch this one, he goes to do this double move up top. See the little stutter that he gives right at the top of the screen right here? It's taking him way too long to get at it. It's like he's running in quicksand. So I think Shough's putting that ball where it should be. It should be 6. Doesn't end up being 6. It's fine, because there will be 6 later in this game. But I think it's fascinating, right? The consequences of things when they don't go your way. So that ends up being an incompletion there. Should have been 6. And by the way, had the Saints scored on that one, we're talking about them having the lead in this game, which they were trailing literally the entire time. Very next play, the Saints go with double slants. I'm always weary of this. I think it could definitely be something that Kellen Moore has to consider in the offseason in terms of, I don't want to say crossing it out of the playbook, but you don't want to go to the well too many times. And D. Alford over here, who's playing on Pettis, I believe it is, over here in the slot, just breaks off of that because he sees the slant on the backside and makes the interception. Then that's game, obviously. I know the Saints had a chance with the onside kick, but in reality, that felt like it was game. But I just think it's funny the sequence of what happens. Okay, and this doesn't mean that Shough is absolved from blame, excuse me. He deserves blame. It's not a great read. It's a rookie mistake. But it's funny because I would argue there should have been 6 on the last play. Then you end up going with double slants here. I don't like the decision. I don't like the play call. But obviously the throw is the throw right there is not great. You're giving the Falcons defender and D. Alford a chance to break off and get the pick, and that's exactly what he does. So I just find it almost indicative of what the Saints had on the field. You miss the touchdown the play before with Ronnie Bell, and then it ends up going the other way on the very next play. So we're going to keep it rolling with this play here. This is the final drive for the Saints. I thought I had the final drive to start it. We're going to go with the final drive here. I just think this is kind of what we've seen all season from Tyler Shough. Improvising, making those wow plays. This right here, Rollins is right. You think maybe he's thrown out of bounds. And the funny thing is, watching this from the broadcast angle, guys, I remember watching this one and thinking, all right, it's a throwaway, and I'll live with it. Live to see another down. But no, that thing's just on a rope to Dante Pettis. Literally on a rope. And watch the pressure again on the left side yet again. Through the left side, came up the middle. Pressure everywhere. On a rope to Dante Pettis. Huge gain. Keeps the drive rolling. Actually sets up an even better throw later, which is kind of absurd. But these are plays that we've come to expect from Tyler Shough. And I think when you start to do it 4, 5, 6 weeks in a row, this is just the standard. I mean, that's just a crazy good throw from your rookie quarterback. So awesome stuff from him. And this final drive, I love that the season ended on a high note for him. I know the game didn't end on a high note. The season did in terms of final drive, though. So over here, just a quick crosser to Pettis, gaining a pretty good chunk right there. And then that's going to end up setting up the throw of the game. And I'd argue Tyler Shough's best throw of the season. And I know in the moment, doesn't mean much, right? This throw right here doesn't win the Saints the game. It doesn't change the outcome. It's still a loss. But there's pressure on the left side, and Shough just throws this where his receiver should be. And thankfully, Ronnie Bell was in the spot because that is just an absolute dime. Again, you're playing with your backup left tackle. Kelvin Banks is out of the game because of an ankle injury. Pressure, you know you're going to get hit as he throws it, and it's just an absolute dime into the back corner of the end zone. Like, watch right here when he throws this ball. Look where Ronnie Bell is. Ronnie Bell has no idea that ball is coming his way. The ball's already out. Ronnie Bell's still running. By the time he turns up, this ball was long gone. We're talking like 20 yards out of Shough's hand and into the corner of the end zone for a touchdown. Best throw of the season for Tyler Shough, bar none in my opinion. And that is saying something because he's made a lot of throws that have really impressed me. But I think this is the one. You got no reps with Ronnie Bell, and yet you throw an absolute dime as if you guys have been working with each other the entire season. So this is earlier in the game. I think this is when I want to give credit to Kellen Moore as a play caller. Okay? So you're going to motion Taysom Hill out. You're going to have Pettis on the crosser. Jawan's going to run the deep out. And that's going to clear the lane. Now, I don't think the coverage bust should be this bad where Taysom Hill's wide open. But again, I like the formula. And I think what I want to talk about here is the growth of Kellen Moore as a play caller. This is fourth down, fourth and short. I'd say about 2 months ago, we know what the fourth and 2, 4th and 3, 4th and 1, what that call is going to be. It's going to be QB power, Taysom Hill. Half the time, it ain't going to work. And in this one, it's no, rookie quarterback stays with the ball. I'm going to use Taysom Hill, though. I'm going to put him in motion. Pettis is clearing out traffic. Jawan's clearing out traffic. Taysom's open for an easy gain there. So I think for me, it isn't an explosive play. It isn't a wow play, but it's subtle things that show you that I think Kellen Moore is growing as a head coach. And it makes sense. Youngest head coach in the NFL. There's definitely room for development, and we're seeing that week to week, and I really am impressed with him. I know I've given Shough all the credit, but Kellen deserves a ton. I think he's gotten better week in, week out in New Orleans, which is pretty damn awesome to see. Now, this one just ends up being a throwaway. What I will say about this, I'd like to see more of this from Shough next season. I'm not talking about incompletions. I'm not talking about failed red zone plays. Just talking about not taking sacks. I think if there's one thing we have to knock Tyler Shough this season for, it's taking too many sacks. Here's the good thing. Last year, Spencer Rattler took a lot of sacks. In fact, if we want to go through the numbers, okay, let me just break it down real quick before we get into the rest of that red zone drive, because I do want to talk about another great throw on that drive. Spencer Rattler, let me bring up the numbers here, okay? During his rookie season, was sacked 22 times in 6 starts. He was sacked 18 times in 8 starts this year. More starts, 4 less sacks. Got the ball out quickly, which is good. Now, Tyler Shough this year, as good as he was at times, got sacked 31 times. Can't happen. Sacked 4 times against Atlanta. Sacked 5 times against Carolina. Sacked 5 times against Atlanta again. Sacked 4 times against Miami. So, to me, that's got to change. Now, some of them aren't hard hits. They're really not. But you don't want your quarterback getting sacked. He got sacked 31 times. If we're going to put this on a full year basis, we're talking about him getting sacked about 60 times. That's a problem. So that's got to change. And I think a play like that, in the moment, you're like, why the hell are we showing an incompletion? Well, first off, I want to show the whole drive as it plays out. But I want to stress that because that's something that needs to get better. Now, this I actually like as well. Look, it's 2nd and goal. You're probably not thinking it's going to be a run. The run blocking is great. And Estime is about a half yard short of a touchdown. And in hindsight, that actually ends up being one of the biggest swings in this game, because had Estime gotten in here, we're talking about a completely different game for the Saints. Unfortunately, that's not the case, and they end up settling for 3 on this drive. But really good blocking. Fuaga and Ruiz are clearing the way. I mean, look at the hole he's running through. Thanks, Cesar Ruiz. Thanks, Taliesin Fuaga. Kevin Austin Jr. is doing his job right here. Just clearing out traffic. And Estime, I thought, was really good, especially in the second half of games this season. So, nice play there. Next play, the Saints go with another run. They get stuffed. I think this one's a little bit frustrating. It felt like they kind of rushed this play. Now, granted, if you have better blocking, it's not a problem. But in that one, obviously that wasn't the case. So as great as the blocking was on the first one, got a free rusher, and they end up, honestly, great tackle, to be honest. But right there, you got a man unaccounted for, and it's just him versus Estime, and he's going to win that battle. So felt like they rushed that play in hindsight. Now, this one probably annoyed us when we did the live stream. I know it annoyed some of you guys. I remember our comments were like all over the place. 4th and goal. Kellen Moore's going for it. First off, thumbs up. I love that Kellen Moore was aggressive towards the last month of the season. So you got what you have. You got Juwan in motion. Got the ball fake. Pocket is collapsing right here in the moment, especially with the broadcast angle, because you're not getting the overhead. You're just seeing the pocket collapsing. I'm thinking to myself, all right, I mean, I like that they went for it on 4th and goal, but Shough's about to get lit up. Shough kind of does a little sidestep to the right. Steps up just a little bit. Again, there's traffic everywhere. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Falcons defenders in the vicinity. But as he steps up, he's going to see an open man to his left, which is exactly why he stepped up in that moment. I'm going to rewind it just a second. So right there, he already sees it. And makes an incredible throw across his body to Kevin Austin for a touchdown. Unfortunately, ends up getting called back. Gets called back because of OPI. If we watch Dante Pettis, in my opinion, it just didn't need to happen. It really didn't. I know Saints fans hate the call. I don't like the call. But Dante Pettis didn't even look like he was trying to run a route. Now, did the Falcons defender absolutely flop? Yes, because look at this moron goes flying. He goes flying all the way by the cheerleaders. Like, come on, dude. Dante Pettis doesn't weigh enough for you to go flying from the tee in the end zone all the way to the cheerleaders. Like, get the hell out of here. So clearly a flop. He clearly sells it, which is a great play on his part because he draws the flag. But it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate because your rookie quarterback, look at that, side step to the right, steps up in the pocket, and right there he sees that Kevin Austin's breaking. So he knows, I'm going to take a shot, but screw it, man. Shuck it. He's about to get hit. He doesn't care. And it should have been a touchdown that would have given the Saints the lead. We look back at a lot of things. Miscues in this game. Missed field goal. OPI calls back the touchdown. Estimates about a half yard short on the run. And I can't even get mad about it. I mean, look at the personnel they played with on Sunday, and yet they almost won that game. So it just goes back to show that I do believe they might have the quarterback. Not even might. I think they have the quarterback. Let me stop being so modest about things. I just think they got to start getting better personnel around him. And this is another example of it. And we'll go back to maybe his best throw before we close it out. But this is an example of personnel, right? In the moment, you might think, oh, it's just a bad pass, right? Just an incompletion. But no, I don't know why. But watch Kevin Austin. As he's going across the field, why does he just stop? Just watch it one more time in full speed. Look at this. You see the slowdown right there? It just can't happen. And again, I'm not trying to knock Kevin Austin. Kevin Austin Jr. is like their 5th receiver next year, 6th receiver, and like it's in case of emergencies. So be it. But man, this was their wide receiver 1 on Sunday. And their wide receiver 2 was Dante Pettis. And their wide receiver 3 was Ronnie Bell, who I mentioned at the top when we were talking about the first play that we broke down. I mean, man, he might have sold 7 on that drive before. So need better personnel around. There's no question about it. That said, the future is so bright for this team. And the big reason is because your quarterback can make throws like this. Under pressure, great anticipation, and dropping it right in the bucket. Despite knowing you're going to get a hit, and despite not having much chemistry with the wide receiver you're throwing to. And the result is still 7. So, again, Saints lost. But, man, there's a lot of good we saw from their rookie quarterback. And at this point, I don't really care if he wins Rookie of the Year. I'd love to see him win Rookie of the Year. I don't think he's going to. I know the Saints have a legitimate quarterback, though. And, man, that makes us really excited about the 2026 season. So, Overall, guys, what do you think about the Atlanta game? Were you a little bummed out about the result? What plays stood out to you, if any? And what's your overall optimism? And let's go on a scale of 1 to 10. How excited are you feeling about this team going into the offseason with free agency coming up, with the draft, obviously? What's your optimism at 1 through 10? Let us know in the comment section below, and we'll get back to you. As always, guys, make sure to subscribe to Boo Crew Media to get more from the Straight Up Saints podcast, the destination for the Who Dat Nation.